Alright, so I hope you enjoyed your break, and now we're going to jump into the types of skincare products that are out there. So one thing you should be aware of is that when you're working with skincare products, there's a million different lines out there. Typically, most skincare products are made to work synergistically, meaning that they have to work with one another and that you ideally want to use the same cleanser, toner, and what have you from brand A, instead of taking things from brands C, B, D, E, and F and making your own little, cocktail. That comes with time and experience. So if you do have enough experience and are able to know what you can and can't combine to get a similar reaction, then feel free to do that. But when you're starting out, get in the habit first of using everything in the same brand. That way you're not potentially causing an unwanted result or not getting enough benefits from the skincare line you're using. Also know that there's usually two types of skin grades. The book doesn't state this, but it's my own experience. There's natural and medical grade. Natural products tend to be like a do no harm. They're a little bit more traditional. They tend to be more herbal based. And then, and don't confuse them for organic, because organic can mean anything in skincare. Natural products are not going to have the power to cause a really severe chemical burn. So for example, like a natural exfoliator might be something that's very gentle, superficial. Something that's more medical grade will have stronger acids, stronger percentage, and stuff that's a lower pH, more acidic, and that can cause a very serious burn if you're not careful. Typically things that are medical grade and are used by a dermatologist but also by a medical esthetician are something that's a little bit advanced. If you feel like you're ready to do that, then train yourself in that. Dermalogica is a good example of something that's more medical grade because their peels can do some serious damage if you don't use them correctly. Bioelements, on the other hand, is a more natural brand. They tend to be made for a lot of sensitive skin types. They're not going to have a lot of fragrance in there, and some of their stuff is like a do no harm. Even their strongest 30% glycolic peel is a non-neutralization peel. So anyhow, some of the terminology is a little bit different. One of the terms that they use is a cleansing milk, and these are non-foaming lotion cleansers designed to cleanse dry and sensitive skin types to remove makeup. They can be applied with hands or an implement. They must be removed with a damp facial sponge, soft cloth, or cotton pad. Ingredients are sometimes applied to cleansing milks to make them more specific to a skin type, so they'll make one for hydration, one for acne skin. Cleansing milk is like a pre-cleanse. You'll also hear this product being called a pre-cleanse or a, there's other names for it. One of them will do, if you just use a regular makeup remover, it does the same thing. It just removes some surface buildup, and then you go in there with a cleanser. Some people use specialized cleansers that do both, so sometimes the product lines can actually get blurred, or there's like a hybrid product. Always keep that in mind. Foaming cleansers are cleansers that contain surfactants, which is detergents, and they cause the product to foam and rinse off easily. These products are generally for combination or oily skin types, although there are some rinse-off cleansers for dry and sensitive skin. Clients love using these products because they may be used quickly and easily in the shower. They have varying amounts of detergent ingredients to treat specific levels of oiliness. Foaming cleansers like cleansing milks may have special ingredients to make them more specific for certain skin types. Some have antibacterial ingredients for acne-prone skin, such as salicylic acid, BHAs. Some cleansers might have some AHAs. It'll be an enzyme-based cleanser. You can use lactic acid cleanser, glycolic acid cleanser, mandelic acid cleanser. The list goes on and on and on. I know that cleansers, when they say foaming cleansers can come in different mediums. You can have liquid cleansers, you can have gel-based cleansers, water-based cleansers, oil-based cleansers. It can come in a foam pump, it could come in a tube, and they come in all kinds of viscosities. So there's a ton of cleansers out there. Also know that after you cleanse, you always want to tone. Remember that thing? Cleanse and tone, cleanse and tone. Once you cleanse and tone, you can do anything. You can do an exfoliation treatment, microdermabrasion, a regular sheet mask, or you just go right to serum and moisturizer. Toners are known as fresheners or astringents, and these are special lotions that help to rebalance the pH and remove any remnants of the cleanser from the skin. They may contain ingredients to help hydrate or soothe, and they may sometimes contain an exfoliating ingredient to help remove dead cells. Fresheners and astringents are usually stronger products, often with higher alcohol contents that are used to treat oily skin types. Toning products are applied with cotton pads after cleansing. Some alcohol-free toners can be sprayed on the face. Bioelements Equalizer is an example. Typically most toners you'll spray right on. The old school way of doing it is they'd be liquid-based and they might leave a residue. So there's all kinds of toners out there. You want to find one that's going to be lightweight, not going to make your client feel uncomfortable or feel greasy or feel weighed down. Know that the old school toners may have had more alcohol in them. Most of them are all pH balanced, so they're all acidic. They are really nice for the skin. And toners are also antibacterial too. You can even use a toner to prep the face before makeup if you just want to get everything nice and evened out without doing the whole facial thing. So now the next product is exfoliants. And these are products that help bring about exfoliation. And exfoliation is the removal of excessive dead skin cells from the skin surface. Removing dead skin cells from the surface allows the skin to look smoother, cleaner, and healthier. You ever hear that word glowing, like you're glowing? If you do a very gentle exfoliant on your face, it will reveal the stratum lucidum, and your skin will have that nice glowy look. Also know that exfoliants can help clear the skin of clogged pores and can improve the appearance of wrinkles, aging, and hyperpigmentation. Know that cosmetology professionals may use products that remove dead surface cells from the stratum corneum. Deeper surgical level peels may be only administered through plastic surgeons, dermatologists, or other MDs. Typically though, you can get medium deep peels from your esthetician or cosmetologist. If you do a TCA peel, TCA gets a strength from layers, not necessarily the percent. So you can take a 15% TCA and layer it heavy, like 5 layers or more, and make it go deeper and deeper and deeper. Typically, with those peels or more advanced treatments, you'll learn about them like later on through different training. When you start to see frosting, that's where you want to stop, and that gives you a good result. You'll get a good peeling result. Other percents, like I've done 70% glycolic acid on myself and a client, and that peel tends to be stronger, and if you're not too careful, you can go really deep with it. So know that the lines with the whole exfoliants are being blurred now, because with more training, with more knowledge, they're allowing professionals to administer these treatments in the spa setting and not always a dermatologist. Someone can go to the dermatologist for a 25% salicylic acid peel. I can do a 30% one. So just know that, and know that exfoliation comes in 2 forms: mechanical exfoliation, chemical exfoliation. Basically, mechanical exfoliation is going to be your microdermabrasion, or if you're going to a dermatologist, dermabrasion, because it goes in deeper. And there also is chemical exfoliation, such as the peels I mentioned. So mechanical exfoliants are products that are physically used to remove dead buildup, such as gommages, also known as roll-off masks, and peeling creams that are rubbed off the skin, and microdermabrasion scrubs that contain aluminum oxide crystals, along with different granules to help manually exfoliate the skin. I know that there was that one meme going around where it was some kind of like St. Ives scrub, and that scrub that's exfoliating is way too strong, and if you use it too violently, you can actually cause more damage and more wrinkles, because it's just horrible. I think the meme had something like someone putting their face in the sand and like rubbing it. That's how bad a physical exfoliant can be. So don't be fooled and think that physical exfoliants are not as dangerous as chemical ones. They can be every bit as abrasive and damaging as chemical exfoliants if used incorrectly. So know that you can have a microdermabrasion machine, which they'll discuss later, and skin brushing machine, which is also discussed later. Chemical exfoliants are products that contain chemicals that will loosen or dissolve dead skin buildup. They're either used for a short time, although some may be worn as a day or night treatment, or combined in a moisturizer. Popular exfoliants are your AHAs, which are your alpha hydroxy acids, and BHAs, which are beta hydroxy acids. So they're naturally occurring acids that remove dead skin cells by breaking the bonds in your intracellular matrix, and what that does is it loosens those bonds and it purges the impurities out of the skin. It's like dissolving the plaques that you don't want, and this helps to speed up the skin renewal. Know that all chemical peels are a controlled burn, and what that does is in that chemical wound, when you're doing it, it breaks these bonds, it purges out the bad skin, and the deeper the peel, the better the result in the long term. If you take low-grade peels and you do them very, very frequently, you'll get the same result, but it will take you much longer. And the key word is frequency. This is something that requires constant maintenance and is not like a one-time thing and then you're automatically look better. So know that as dead skin cells are removed from the surface, over time the wrinkles appear less deep, skin discolorations may be fade, and clogged pores are loosened and reduced. New clogged pores are prevented, and skin is smoother and more hydrated. Know that over time, cell renewal, the more you do it, because when you do one peel, that will cause some cell renewal. That will produce a firmer and healthy look of your skin. Know that salon AHA exfoliants are known as peels that contain larger concentrations of AHA, usually around 20 or 30%. And the book says that you should never use them on a client unless the client has been using a 10% AHA product at home for at least 2 weeks. I can tell you that it's not true. I've done successfully a 30% glycolic peel on someone who's never had any kind of AHA product and they were fine. This all comes with experience and product training. That is a little outdated right there. Know that with AHAs, there is a risk for sunburn because of how it thins the skin. So after you get a chemical peel, especially like a glycolic one, you don't want to go to the beach that day or go out tanning. No tanning beds. I always joke with my esthetician friend who's amazing. I'll say, she'll do my peel and she knows I'm a professional and she'll go to say, she goes, wait a minute, you already know you're a professional. And I'll joke and I'll say, well, I'm gonna go right to the tanning bed. We joke because technically if I were to do that, my skin would be thinned and it would actually burn and blister like worse. So always wear sunscreen, and when you're working on a client and you do a peel, you always want to get consent and say, hey, can I put a sunscreen on because, you know, this will make your skin more prone to burn, and chances are they'll usually say yes. Unless, you know, if you're a tree hugger like me, we kind of make our own sunscreen. Carrot seed oil works. This is always something I tell the class, look into making your own, because typically a 15% SPF is more than enough. Although most of them you'll find are like 30 SPF, which is more than enough too. People going by 50, 50 is not needed, and the reason being, check out the video from Miss Beautifile. She does a video explaining how sunscreen works and the science behind it. It's incredible. Also know too that you can get a higher percent. You can get up to 70%, I think, glycolic peel, and they make like a 90 lactic acid. Don't always jump for the strongest. Do something low grade and then work your way up to that. Know that when you're doing working on skin that you are using when you're doing any kind of mechanical exfoliation, certain medications can make the skin more susceptible to inflammation. Don't use it on skin that has visible capillaries, skin that reddens easily. Older skin that thins easily and bruises easily is a skin you want to be careful when working on. If they're using Retin A, also know that you should always read the directions and get hands-on training before working with chemical exfoliants. Again, check out my friend Kim. She has an amazing channel called Natural Chaos, and she can walk you through all of this, and she explains it well. Also know too that percent is only one part of the issue with regards to how a peel burns. So for example, if you look at BioElements 30% glycolic acid, and Dermalogica's 30% glycolic acid, I can tell you that if you put the Dermalogica on your face, you're gonna feel it more, and it's like, oh my gosh. And that usually is always done within like 5 minutes, 10 minutes pushing it. Whereas the BioElements, you can leave it on for maximum processing time is usually 20 minutes for any peel, and that's an AHA. And the reason why people hardly feel a burn with the BioElements is because it's not because natural has charcoal in it, it's because the pKa value is good. What the pKa value means is that there's a balance between, and they'll say something like the salt in this, what it means is a balance between the acid and the pH. So the percent of the acid is in sync with the pH that it should be, so it's a more calming product on the skin. Now, the reason why all products would make a pKa value that's great, this is beyond me. I think that every product line should do that, where they make sure that the percent and the pH are in sync. That way you get less irritation, less burning, and a better result in the long term. That also keeps your clients happier. It shows that you did your research and you cared about your product. The next type of peels I talk about are enzyme peels, and these are known as cherolytic enzymes or protein dissolving agents. It's a type of chemical exfoliant that works by dissolving keratin protein in the surface scales of the skin. Usually enzyme products are made of plant extracted enzymes from papaya, resulting in an enzyme known as papain, or pineapple, resulting enzyme known as bromelain. Or they are made from an enzyme derived from beef byproducts known as pancreatin. The beef byproducts one sounds kind of gross. I have not seen any that had pancreatin in it, and I'm assuming if it did, that would not be vegan. Also know that when you're working on vegans, you want to make sure the line you're using is cruelty-free, not tested on animals, and is sustainable, because that's something you want to sell to your clients. And I always tell spas, always keep 2 lines of skincare products. You always want to stay away from relying on one line for everything. Do a mixture of things so you're able to get a variety, but also serve different people that might come in your salon or spa. Know that enzymes are sometimes blended into scrubs or wearable products, but they're most often designed for use in the salon. The 2 basic types of cherolytic enzyme peels are cream type enzyme peels, which are gomage, and they usually contain papain, and they're applied to the skin and allowed to dry for a few minutes. They form a crust, which is then rolled off the skin. It's almost like a sticky you're feeling, and then when you roll them off, it just comes off. A lot of over-the-counter stuff have this technology. These are more of the old school types of peels before we had the really fun AHA, BHA ones. The second and most popular type of enzyme peel is a powder that is mixed with water in the treatment room and applied to the face. This type of enzyme treatment does not dry the skin and can be used during a steam treatment. With proper exfoliation, you will have great skin results. It will help to remove uneven color, it'll balance everything, increase elasticity, and know that makeup applies a lot better on exfoliated skin because there's no crepes, the indents of the wrinkles are reduced. When you kind of shave it down a little bit, it makes you have an even canvas. So think about the purpose of a facial is cleaning a canvas so you can create art. When you have a series of good facials, you can then refer them to your makeup artist that works in the salon, and that way your makeup artist will have a great time because the skin's all fresh and revived. Typically, if you're getting a chemical peel in one day, you're not going to go and put makeup on right over, you're going to give them a day or two. If you're doing a Jester's peel, then definitely not immediately. It'll take a few days, and then you'll be able to, put the makeup on after a few days have passed. Also know that if you over-exfoliate the skin, it will result in ultra-sensitive inflamed skin. Never use an exfoliant more than directed, so if it says use no more than twice a week, don't book the client every single day and do a peel. That's just common sense. Know that if you combine more than one type of exfoliation, it'll get irritation. There is a technique that's going around called double exfoliation, where you scrape the skin through dermaplaning or microdermabrasion, and then you put a glycolic peel over it. You're going to be red, and you're probably going to flake a little bit more obviously than if you just done the regular peel. So always use that with caution and be aware of that. As cosmetologists, we try everything on ourselves first, especially if we're ethical. I've done some crazy unforgivable things to my skin. I did 5 layers of a 30% 30% TCA peel, and my skin looked like a zombie for an entire week. It was a deep peel. Took off my whole epidermis. I had a coworker tell me that I went to my papillary layer. I don't know how she figured that out, but I had some kind of chart. And always use a daily sunscreen with an SPF of at least 15 after any kind of exfoliating peel. Also avoid steam, avoid working out, anything that would flush your face. Most peels like glycolic or lunchtime peels are not going to produce dramatic results. Other times we want that over-exfoliation if we're going deep to remove problem areas like really deep set wrinkles with a TCA or adjusters. Even some salicylic acid peels will produce a reddened look and it looks like you have crushed aspirin on your face. That's all part of the BHA and how it works. So on to moisturizers. Moisturizers are products that help increase the moisture and content of the surface skin. They help diminish the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles, and they're a mixture of humectants, also known as hydrators or water bonding agents, which are ingredients that attract water known as emollients. Emollients are oily, fatty ingredients that prevent moisture from leaving the skin. Know that moisture for oily skin is often in a lotion form and contains smaller amounts of emollient. Oilier skin does not need as much emollient because there's already too much oil. And know that moisturizers for dry skin are often in the form of a heavier cream, and they contain more emollients because the skin's lacking the lipids. So what I'm going to do is we're going to take our 5-minute break here. I'm going to come back, finish up moisturizers, and then I'll finish up with sunscreens, and we'll go from there.